Hi Gemini, here is a general look at your solar chart for November 2014, and this is a month when there's a bit of Saturnitis around. All of the signs are getting in their transits brushes with Saturn because Saturn is in the sign of November, which is the sign Scorpio. That's between the beginning of the last week of October and the beginning of the last week of November. And whilst the sun is in Scorpio, which will be up until the 22nd, it's time for you to roll up your sleeves and make yourself useful, or get with the program, or get organized in some way. It's to be keeping a weather eye on maintenance matters, inside, outside. It's to be learning how to get your head around new bits of kit, maybe, or learning how to do new techniques, or reapplying old techniques, or tweaking them in some way, or having more to do with skilled people in general, or service providers. Until the 9th, Mercury is in actually a very innovative, creative area of your chart, focusing your mind more on the creative side of things, aiding and abetting you in coming up with bright ideas. But also it might simply mean that you are having more interaction with young people, or with projects which are entrepreneurial, or with activities which are empowering and fun, or which are artistic, and it can be pursuits which are just like your favorite things to do with your favorite people, like hobbies and pastimes, and it's an area where your inner child can come out to play. And then from the 9th to the 28th, Mercury is focusing your mind on the practical side of life. It comes into alignment with where the sun is in this very useful, serviceable area of your chart, and that means that the mechanics of daily life are going to be a keynote, and you'll be taking, looking at things from that side of, what needs to be done, what chores, what's on the list, and sorting things out. And of course the stitch in time saves 9, doesn't it? And that is also related to health. Now this might be not you directly, the energy might be coming at you indirectly, of course, because there's somebody else in your orbit who is undergoing health concerns, or it's like a regime that they're in, a protocol or something like that. But as I say, there's some Saturn around, and it's for you to look out for and be aware of the 22nd particularly, which can be a bit of a slow day that you've got to push through, perhaps. But it's also a building day. It's a day of being proud of a success because you pushed hard and you pulled it off, sort of thing. So that's the 22nd. But also between the 22nd and the 28th, you've got a lot of Saturn around Mercury. So Mercury has got some sort of oil on his wings a bit there. It doesn't mean to say that he's in a dire situation. It simply means that his style might be slightly cramped, that you've got to think harder about things. You've got to take paperwork, correspondence more seriously, or travel for sort of like commitments that you've got, or schedules, or timetables, or just weighing a little bit more heavily on your shoulders. It might be something like that. It might be that some serious and important paperwork, like forms, or information that you have to deal with, or got to put out there, and you've got to do it all, and there's a deadline. It can be that sort of thing, but it is also the planet, Mercury is the planet of physical vehicles and communications equipment, so vehicles of all kinds, and of course this kind of equipment that I'm using here, laptops and the like, all of that stuff, all that smart stuff. So you might just spend all day preferring to be somewhere else and doing something else, but trying to figure out how to put how how to get, I don't know, Google loaded on your new Android phone and you've never had one before, or something like that. So it can come out like that, but it's that sort of vibe, you know, it's that sort of vibe. Now, until the 17th, Venus is in the same practical mood as the Sun, favorably highlighting teamwork. So very much connecting with somebody else, perhaps, you know, your nerdy kind of son or daughter, or indeed grandson or granddaughter, or friend, to help you with this, you know, Android problem. But however, that actually is coming out of there a little bit before, but still in the next segment where Venus is from the 17th to the end of the month, then somebody can really contribute something very, very useful, something very supportive that you think, oh, thank God for that. Somebody understands, somebody's taken my hand, somebody said, look, you know, I'll be your bridge here, I'll be your enabler. Or indeed, we can turn that around, and from the 17th onwards, you're seen as the enabler, you're seen as the bridge, you're seen as the supporter. And you can also do not too badly in a material sense. However, I've jumped ahead of myself, because before then, Venus in Venus in your opposite sign up until the 17th means that you can do well in the love department, or just teaming up with somebody who's going to be very, very helpful, but maybe they are just giving you the information and the facts, and then you have to figure it out from there. The next area that Venus goes into, it's more like you feel the relief of that understanding and that intimacy and that emotional support. But both of them, if it's not about androids, can be really good news for your love life. You know, both of those positions, in fact the whole months of Venus. Bearing in mind, however, there's always a but, isn't there? Bearing in mind that we have Saturn around, and Saturn is actually going to be quite close to Venus between the 10th and the 14th. I've got a squeaky chair here. So, and that is when you might find a relationship weighing more heavily on your shoulders, which you're perfectly happy about, because, you know, you're really into each other, but it just might be like that. Or it might be that the person you're relating to has a problem, or it might be it's not a great time for trying to get a really, really good deal on something, I have to say, when Venus is on Saturn. So if you're scheduling, you know, closing a deal then between the 10th and the 14th, perhaps not, if you can possibly avoid that there, and then you should be fine. So yeah, anything around property, finances, that kind of thing. So just be a little bit more cautious, because you're going to have to be slower and steadier when Saturn is around. And also, just whilst we're on that subject, the Sun goes over Saturn between the 17th and the 19th. So keeping your eye out for the second week, but also for the third week, just for these little glitches. They don't have to be anything major. However, they turn into something major if we respond in a dramatic way, because we pinned all our hopes on, you know, that horse coming in that race, and Saturn is on Venus. Well, it might not, you know, turn out that way. Okay, so Mars is for the whole month in a section of your chart which is to do with clearing the decks. It's to do with holding a lot within, actually, and maybe feeling a little bit of turmoil to do with other people's feelings, other commitments, agreements, contracts, or it might not be like that. It's a bit of turmoil and keeping your cards close to your chest for another reason, which is bugging you. Okay, so this is the area where we become more intensely self-aware of, like, our inner world, really. So even though these nice things are going on the outside, well, it's you being useful and all of that, but also a little bit of fun there as well with Mercury right in the beginning, and a nice energy with Venus. But this one here with Mars It's, you know, something in your gut, and you could even get, you know, like discomfort in your gut, quite literally, because your gut knows something you don't. Your gut has got a hotline to this higher self-expanded consciousness, which you can't bring all the way into your sort of dumbed down, dense 3D self, but you have this connection to it all your life and all your days as you walk this planet. So it could just be that you need to trust your gut here, even though your logic tells you one thing, the gut tells you another. Also, this is an area here where Mars is going to be about not having a free hand on something because you're sharing it with someone, or you've made a prior arrangement with someone or an agreement with someone who you know personally, or someone is just an anonymous, faceless outside entity. It can be like that, and you feel a bit like you've got your arm twisted up behind your back for some reason. Or indeed, you may be trying to figure out ways to get them at a disadvantage because you're trying to get a good deal. So picking out the weak points and playing on those, but they, vice versa, might be doing that towards you, or indeed it is to do with a prior agreement or a contract that you sign, or something where you know you have to come up with whatever it is. And this is an area here where Mars is the 8th house of the chart, in a very deep area of your chart, where the bottom line is about your coming down to what really matters, weighing it up, weighing the odds, and coming down to what really matters. So boiling it all down to your bottom line, that's it. And when you get to that, then you realize that you have to let something go, because you have to surrender. So by letting go, I don't literally mean going down, well, I do literally mean going down the dump, as a matter of fact. You could be doing it like that version of letting go, but you also might have to surrender yourself into the hands of someone who you trust, because they've got a more expert, a more expert knowledge, expanded vision, whatever it is, than your own. So surrender. So you're almost like trusting yourself, or trusting this thing with them, you see. And then once you've done that surrendering, then the transition happens, because this is a transition house. And then you shift the gears, and then you move on into the next stretch of road, as it were. But you will always be wanting to be quite secret about things with Mars in this house. Not everything, because you are, you know, a communicator, you're an informer in the best sense of the word. And you'll not want to put all your cards on the table. Oh no, not with Mars here. And that might be out of choice, or it might not. Now, until from the 22nd, you're going to benefit from the support of others in close relationship, and that's with the Sun moving into the same position as Venus. So that's quite an upbeat area there. Bonding is very strongly highlighted, but also teaming up, working together, pulling together. I can do business with this person. So it might be a confidant, because of where Mars is, that you can trust, that, you know, with this knowledge. Or indeed, turn that around again, it might be coming at you indirectly, and it's somebody who needs to confide in you, somebody who needs your sort of to trust you, but also somebody who, in however it is, you and somebody could be making a strategy, figuring something out, planning and plotting on something. And yeah, a lot of chit-chat going on there, and maybe scheming, again in a very sort of positive way, it would be. But there could be just this very strong interaction going on. And then from the 28th, which I've mentioned to you about the Mercury thing, actually on the 28th, that's not a great day to schedule anything huge. It's simply because on that day, Mercury and the moon or in the area. So I would separate out that day to have a bit of nurture, or to just do something extra specially nice for myself, because possibly others are going to be so distracted in other directions they're not going to notice you as much. From the 28th, Mercury comes into your opposite sign, and then that is very much this sort of interaction thing going on with the sun, and you and somebody else throwing ideas around with you, and coming to your own sort of conclusions, because you compared notes, really. And it might be somebody you know, or somebody that you have consulted with, or they're consulting with you. And then just a reminder of Saturn. Saturn is in a very long transit, due to end soon. It's ending in the last week of in the last week of December. I can't believe that we're already at December. Well, actually, I'm speaking to you in September, but this is, you know, just going so fast. So anyway, Saturn is in also this service-orientated area, this area where skills are going to be underlined, learning new skills, working hard, sweating it. This friggin', sorry, excuse my French, but android problem, or you know, how on earth do I resolve this anything mechanical in mechanical daily life, you know, how do I resolve it? How do I get it working and get it organized as I want it to be, to the standard that I want? You Geminians born in the last 10 days, or with 23 to 28 degrees, are going to feel that Saturn energy the most this month. Jupiter is in a great angle to your sun sign, and all the way through until next August, meaning that you can be developing yourself through education, speaking, writing, putting the word out there on something, creative self-expression. There could be many exchanges which are enlightening, expanding your mind. Also, you sharing with others, or indeed putting your knowledge out there in a more serious way, or perhaps in a bigger kind of a way. New concepts, jargons, connections will be carved into your mental landscape over these many months. And you Geminians born in the last 10 days, or with 19 to 23 degrees rising, are going to feel this energy the most in the forecast period. And that's it. Apart from Neptune, watching out for Neptune, it's you same Geminians born in the first 10 days, or with 4 to 6 degrees rising, the slippery fish Neptune, bringing in confusion, illusion, not clarity, not sharpness, no sharpness there. But then you begin to get it, you begin to understand that you can trust your own intuition and just follow where that intuition is leading you, but separate the needy from the greedy, because you can definitely become, you know, something that other people walk over, or indeed other people, you can become invisible, and that's why you feel walked over. Okay, so just watch out for that, and yeah, confide in a friend, or get advice from a friend who is not having the same Neptune transit, you early Geminians, who can help you with that clarity, or somebody who, you know, is just a trustworthy advisor. If you know your moon sign or your rising sign, you can listen to those, and also all of this is written up on my website. You can read it. And that's it for November. I will see you the next time.